Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Ravelry, Instagram, and YouTube. Today is Monday, the 25th of January, 2016. And this is episode 165. Grab some sticks and string and come sit with me. The gift craft along is going well. Honestly, I haven't been on Ravelry very much this past week, what with getting ready for my mom's visit and then my mom visiting. I totally skipped the entire how my week went. It went fine. My mom's visit was good. We went to the aquarium. She spoiled my children and got them their faces painted, and she bought them each gifts at the gift shop, which I never do. And she got me a gift at the gift shop. It's a little glass penguin, which I love because penguins are my favorite animal. I don't know if you knew that or not, but they are. It was a pretty good week, but very tiring. There are certain people who I freak out more when they're going to visit. Like when my sister's coming to visit, I'm like, whatever. She has kids. She knows how kids can destroy a house. My mom apparently forgets. So it was extra cleaning and extra, I don't know, it was a stressful week, but not a bad stressful week. And plus I worked late all those nights. So yeah. Anyway, gift craft along going well. I have works in progress. I didn't finish anything this week, but I made okay progress on some things. First step is the Nazki leg warmers by Monica Cerna. I'm using Leading Men Fiber Arts Dramaturg in Darkest Hour. So it's a DK weight. And here's one. I worked the cuffs on US size 4 and I worked them at the same time. But I don't have a long size 6, which is what the leg is worked on. So I'm working them, what's that called? In tandem, I guess, or parallel. I did 2 pattern repeats on this one, and then I did 4 pattern repeats on the other one, and now I'm back to this one and I'm doing 4 pattern repeats. So that way, if the tension changes between the two, it will change in both of them, even though it won't be in exactly the same spot. But the pattern is mirrored, and I don't know if you can really see that cable detail. It's cabley, lacy prettiness. Free pattern. It's from Knitty. So this is the one that's further, and this is the one that's on DPNs as a holder. I could work it one on a circular and one on DPNs, but my tension is different between the two styles of needles, so I don't want to mess up my knitting like that. So I'm using the DPNs as holders. So that's how far I am. It's going pretty well. It's a fairly intuitive pattern once you've done the pattern repeat a couple times. So yeah, those are going. I'm enjoying them. I'm looking forward to having them so that I can wear them. P.S. I'm totally rocking bedhead today. This is what my hair looked like when I rolled out of bed, and I can't care today. I have today off, so I'm not changing out of pajamas. I'm probably not brushing my hair. It's probably going to look like this until tomorrow. Maybe even tomorrow too, because I have tomorrow off also. So it might just be bedhead for 2 days. Depends on if I have to go out in the world and if I can get away with just throwing on a hat. Anyway, I also worked on my Merla Fiber Arts bat. So this is what the fiber is looking like now. My cup is getting pretty big. The spindle's getting pretty full, but I'm almost finished. I only have this strip and this strip left. So the singles will be finished very soon. Probably tomorrow, maybe today. We'll see. And then I will begin plying. I don't know how I want to ply it though. I don't think that I want to leave it as a single because it's got locks and a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't think I want to leave it as a single. I might want to apply it back on itself. I have this, so I might apply it with this. It's a thread with sequins. Or I might two-ply it and actually three-ply it. Two plies, like ply it from the inside and outside of a cake and use this as a third ply. I'm kind of leaning toward that because the single is, it kind of just did what it wanted because there's a whole bunch of stuff in it, locks and different types of fiber. So you can see it's got like thick and thin bits in it. So if I two-ply it on itself, that'll help even it out. And then I think the sparkles would just be fun. What do you think? I have a couple days before I get to that point. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the thread, and I'll probably post a picture on Instagram before I finish uploading this even. So I'll be looking at those things. I worked on the advent calendar a little bit. So last week I was working on, I think, this section right here next to where my hoop is. I've decided though that I'm going to finish off this strip so that the entire middle, well, lower middle, I guess. No, I guess that's middle. The entire middle section of this, lower middle, whatever, will have a strip across, and then I'm going to put it away because I'm kind of running out of steam on it. I don't have that much more to go for this, but since the resolution was to do 10 minutes-ish a day or an hour, really an hour a week on any Christmas decoration, I think it'll be fine to finish this and then set it aside for, you know, the next time Christmas gets drawn as the season, which could be next month. I don't know. What's today? The 25th? So yeah, next week I will be drawing for what the new season decoration will be and which work in progress I would have to work on. So I'm kind of hoping that it's not the advent calendar because that is on my list of works in progress to work on. I'm just a little done with it. I worked on it very hard in December, worked very hard on it this month. I would like to not work on it in February, but if that's what's pulled, then I'll do it. Because I didn't want to work on the advent calendar, I worked on a different Christmas ornament. There is, oh, the yarn ball fell on the floor. So in December, the kids were driving me crazy one day. I think it was Christmas break, and I was like, you guys want to string some beads on some yarn? They're like, yeah, we love that. And once upon a time, I made a pattern called Christmas Tree by Helen Free. And it looks kind of like this. This is the beginning. I made them for all the grandmas. So my mom, Becca's mom, Steve's mom, all the grandmas got one, and the kids strung the beads on them. And that was in 2013. Well, this past Christmas, Steve's mom sent me a picture of her Christmas tree on her desk and said that that was the piece that she got the most compliments on. And I was like, oh, I want Christmas trees to just sit around my house, and I have green yarn and I still have a ton of beads. So Gabriel strung this one. It's all red beads. Some are clear, some are opaque, and they're on Red Heart Super Saver in, I would guess, Patty Green. I think that's this color. And I started crocheting on it, and I did about 40 minutes of work. Maybe not, like 30 minutes. I would say 30 minutes while I was at the fuel center. So taking care of customers and stuff, putting it down, picking it up. but it works out pretty quick. I only have about a ball this big left, and it's worsted weight, so that's not a ton of yardage. So this will finish up fairly quick, and then I will have actually finished a Christmas decoration in the Christmas winter decorating month, which is nice. And yeah, I'll have that next week. So the beads are just plastic pony beads, nothing fancy, because I have a huge plastic bead collection. Some from my mom, some I had from I don't even know how long ago, and some were given to me in college by someone who was just cleaning out their craft supplies. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I've had these beads for about forever. It's about time I use them for something. And I also worked on the scarf, which I left on the floor. Hold on. So here is the scarf that I'm making for one of the people I work with. And it is pretty long, not quite wingspan length. It comes from this fingertip to like down my forearm. So it's getting there, but it's not quite long enough for what he wants. He wants a really long, really thick scarf. He told me to pretend that I was making it for someone who lived in Michigan. So right now it's short, actually. Like I would never make this I would never be like, this is the exact length for anyone, because it just barely comes to the top of, well, to the bottom of my bra, basically. That's an easier way to say it. But it's coming along. I've been doing, well, let me talk about this. So I'm not using a pattern, and whew, I'm glad I decided not to do my hair since it's just going crazy. Anyway, so I used an entire skein of Lion brand Wool Ease in the Wool Ease, what is this, Thick and Quick? Yes, in the cilantro colorway. It was an entire skein for the middle because he wanted it to be kind of professional and not too crazy. So I was like, well, I'll start with the green in the middle so that it's, you know, cohesive right there. And then I did a few stripes in Big Twist in the Natural Blend Dark Gray and the black colorway, I would imagine. Natural Blend Black, yes. So I did a few, and then I did a small chunk. I did this on both sides, and then I went and did a small chunk of green on both sides, and then black and gray stripes again on both sides, and then green on both sides. So I'm doing the outside sections, one section every day. It's been working out too, or like one block on each side every day. I hope that I will have this finished by Thursday, which is when I will see him next, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to use all 6 balls of yarn that I purchased. It's possible, but I'm having a really hard time like gauging how long it's going to be. So I kept the receipt in case I don't use them all, so I can take some back. I'm definitely using all of the green though, because that's the color that he wanted to be the main, which is why I did the midsection as green. I like it though. I think that I think this is not completely unprofessional. I think it's fun, but I think it could be worn, you know, I think it could be worn to work. Hopefully he agrees. If not, I'll be picking up different yarn to make him something else, because I would hate to make something for someone that they don't like. But he was very, see, this is why it's difficult to make things for people who aren't crafty, because he was not very specific about what he wanted other than green, and he wanted it to look professional-ish. So hopefully he likes it. If not, I like it. And I can always gift it to someone else for Christmas, because I think it's lovely. Anything else about this? Oh yeah, I'm working it on a size N crochet hook. Nope, that's not it. It's probably over on the floor somewhere. I don't know, this is what happens when children touch things. All of my stuff, this is the room where people stay when they visit. This is like our spare room. So I set up an air mattress on my floor, which means that if I want to work on things, I have to take my current projects elsewhere because normally I just work in my craft room. So I had to pack up all of my things in a bag and take it elsewhere so that my mom and her boyfriend could sleep or whatever, talk, drink their coffee. I didn't want to invade their personal space because when I visit other places, I like to have my own space where I can go and I can shut the door and I can be like, no, this is my space now. You can't come in. You can't bother me. So I try to be courteous like that. And yesterday I set all of my stuff on my chair over here that you can't see, right over there. And Mara thinks that that's her chair, so she knocked it all off of the chair. Also, I don't remember. I think I started out with 17 stitches, and then yesterday I was actually counting the stitches as I was working, and I only had 16 on one side. So instead of increasing that side, I just dropped the other side down to 16 because it's hardly noticeable. I mean, it's one stitch difference, and I don't think it needs to be as wide on the long parts down as it needs to be around the neck. It's just me. Yeah, I really like it though. And I wish I hadn't put it on because now I'm itchy. I don't know what kind of wool they use, but it makes me itchy and that makes me sad. Yeah, those are the things that I really worked on. I don't know if I worked on anything else. Probably, like, I have a lot of projects that I do a few things here and there, but nothing really major. I did Barn Raising Square number 58. This is the drops fable that I used for Alex's socks. I really like the way that this pattern works up. I am a little torn on self-patterning socks. I like self-striping, but sometimes like self-patterning sock yarn, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. Because self-striping lends itself to, you can do stitch patterns on it and it looks fine, but self-patterning socks, I kind of feel look best as stockinette, and we know that I don't like to make vanilla socks. So kind of torn on ever buying any for myself. I don't mind getting it. I love getting it, obviously. But I really like how it worked up in the square. I think it's beautiful. I did square number 14 on my mitered square blanket. This is 716 knit sock in the colorway My Hormones Don't Rage, which was a club colorway from the Daria Club. And this is what the stripe sequence is. So I only have the green and the black. I didn't get any of the yellow, and I was kind of like, oh, well, that's a little unfortunate, but I'm not super unhappy that it's just a big block of green in my green blanket. I still love it. And then for Hexa Puffs, I did 8 of them. I did 4 in My Hormones Don't Rage, and 2 of them are celebratory and 2 of them are not, because I had to make up the celebratory puffs from last week that I didn't do. And then I made 2 using the drops fable and 2 using the spring leaf Peyton's Croy stripes. So that's I'm pretty proud of myself for making as many Hexa Puffs as I did. I'm not surprised the Hexa Puffs were my aquarium knitting, because I didn't want to take the leg warmers because it's intuitive, but it's also dark, and there are places in the aquarium where it's really dark. And I didn't want to mess up the cable and lace section, so I was like, I'll take Hexa Puffs. I can do those whenever. They're very easy. And Yeah, so I got hexapuffs done. Yay me! And now I'm at new things. This is, again, going to be a very short episode. But I said that it probably would be last week because of all the work that happened last week. Anyway, so new, I received a package in the mail from Christina. She sent me a PM asking if I would spin something for her because she is not a spinner and she won some fiber in a giveaway or a knit along or something. I don't remember the exact what she wanted in. I read the PM last week, okay? That was a long time ago. Or maybe 2 weeks ago. But she asked if I would spin, and I said, yeah, sure, I'll spin for you. And she said, well, I have some fiber that I can send for you to just keep. And I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. And she also found a couple skeins of fingering weight yarn at Goodwill or something similar and asked if I would like scrappy bits of that. So I said, yeah, I would love that. So I'll show you the yarn first. These are the two things. They didn't have tags or anything, but she sent me enough that I should be able to get a barn raising square and a mitered square out of them, I'm hoping. So this is going to be this week's square because it's super bright and super green and I love it. And it will be perfect. Yeah, so these are the yarns. They're lovely. And then this is fiber that she sent for me. And it is unknown fiber content, but I've squished it and it doesn't make me want to dye. I didn't put it up by my face because that's just not very nice. It's not super soft, but it's not super scratchy either. It's beautiful colors. And I look forward to spinning that up for myself in the future. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to that because I really want to work on some of my works in progress, although I'm really itching to put something on the wheel, which will obviously be what I'm spinning for her, which is this. It is from Pecora Yarns, and it is superwash merino. It is a one-of-a-kind colorway, and it is super pretty. Josh says it reminds him of Jaws, which it does. It's a little reminiscent, but the red is more of a wine instead of a blood red, and the blue is darker. There's no gray. There's a lot more white, and I will be I'll be aiming for a worsted weight with this. So it should go pretty quickly, but it should be super lovely. It's very soft. It's very pretty. I like it a lot. So I'm excited to be spinning that for Christina. And she also sent, because she is just so sweet, she sent me a little stitch minder. That is so cute. Look at that little face. It's super cute and I love it. So thank you, Christina, for the extras, and I will start your spinning very soonly. Maybe not this week, but it'll definitely be on my February to-do list. And that brings me to what I'm reading. I finished Kushiel's Dart because when I was working, I was stuck at UScan for some nights only an hour and a half by myself with nothing to do, but some nights longer than that. So I was working, you know, I was obviously paying attention to customers and stuff like that, but it was late and several nights we just didn't have customers. So, or we would have like one or two in that hour and a half period. So boring. So I brought Kushiel's Dart and I read it then. I could have knit, but I didn't want to make 11 bazillion hexapuffs, which is all that I really would have wanted to knit at work because anything with a pattern, I'd have to be looking it up on my phone and picking it up and setting it down, and I just didn't have the brain power for that. It's too late at night for that sort of thing. So I read instead, and I love Crucial Start so, so much. It's my favorite book. It really is. It's so good. It's full of intrigue, and there are love stories, and there's court happenings and action and war, and it's phenomenally written. The only thing about it is there are a bazillion characters because it takes place at court and in different countries, and there's a lot of people to keep track of, and the names are French. But on the bright side, at the beginnings of the books, there are lists of who everybody is and how they relate to people. And yeah, it's a lot of people. So occasionally I get confused by characters, and I have to be like, wait a second, is this person or that person? And I have to look it up in the front because the names are all, well, they're not all French. The court where she is French, but there's also, I'll show you the map. So it's Europe and the UK, basically, is where the first book takes place. Yeah, it's not basically, that's where it is, where it does take place. I don't think they travel into Asia or Africa in this series. Maybe they do in the first trilogy. I can't remember because it's been a really long time since I read it. So the first book is all in Europe and Ireland. So the names are all not, the names are difficult for me. Like Ennefil Delaunay de Montreve. I'm pretty sure that's French. And then let's see if they have any. Yes, they have the from Ireland. Justin Mab Nackthana and Eamon Mac Connor. So those are obviously Irish names, and I can or Scottish or whatever. That UK names, they're UK names. So I can kind of understand those, but it gets confusing because I have to try to remember where people are from and everything, and it's like tricky fish, especially when you only hear the name mentioned, 20 times over 600 pages. Anyway, I'm this far in the second book. I started it 2 days ago. I really, this is the second one. So this is Crucial's Chosen. I finished Crucial's Start, started Crucial's Chosen. And as you can tell, my book is very well loved. I believe that this book, this copy, I bought in high school. And then I made all of my friends read it. And my sister has borrowed it, and she is hard on books. And I've read it, I don't know, 3 or 7 or something times. More than 2, less than 10. I just love it. It's so good. So I'll be reading this book, and then I'll be reading the last book in the trilogy, and then I'll probably read something else. I don't think that I'll read all 9 books in one go. Oh, they're just so good. And they're so fitting for how I'm feeling right now. Okay, people who read and people who reread things, do you have this? Like, I'm feeling stressed out right now, and my life feels like it's going crazy. So I really, I had a whole bunch of books out from the library that I didn't read, and I just returned instead. And I wrote them down so I can check them out later. But I was like, And then I had some books come in on hold at the library that I actually really wanted to read when I put them on hold, but then when they came in on hold, I was like, eh, because all I want is a book that feels like home, and these books feel like home. Does that make sense? Like some people watch the same movies over when they're feeling stressed out or things like that, or play like a video game that they've already beat, or I don't know. So I'm just reading books that feel like home right now. And I just love them so much. Anyway, that's all I have for you this week. I know it's so short. Sorry. Hopefully this week will be better. I do have 2 days off in a row, which usually helps because tomorrow I will feel all sorts of productive. Today it's already past noon. I couldn't think of a show title for this week's episode. And yeah, it's just today is, half gone basically. But tomorrow I will be productive, so that's good. Anyway, I hope you made something fantastic with your sticks and string, and I will see you next week. Bye.